All right, let's talk about a really powerful idea today, a framework that's called the mathematics of inevitable wealth.
So let's just start with a huge question. What if we've been looking at wealth all wrong? We tend to think of it as, I don't know, a lottery ticket, right? A lucky break, something that's just for a few special people. But what if it's actually more like a recipe, a predictable system with clear inputs and outputs that really anyone can follow? That's the big idea we're going to unpack. So let's dive right in. The very first step here is all about a fundamental shift in how you think. It's about getting away from the idea that wealth is some kind of magic or mystery and moving toward the belief that it's the result of a clear, almost mechanical process. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that old passive mindset. Wealth is something that just happens to you if you get lucky. But on the right, we have the new equation, the active mindset. Wealth is something you actually build through a deliberate process. Honestly, this one little reframe is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. It's all about taking back control.
Okay, so if wealth is a mechanical process, where does the machine even start? Well, it's not in your bank account. It's not with your investments. It actually starts inside your head. It all begins with your internal blueprint. The first step in this process is something called mental rehearsal. The best way to think about it is like an athlete who visualizes the perfect race before the starting gun even goes off. For us, it's the process of internally planning out your financial moves, actually seeing yourself succeed, and building a completely new story in your mind about who you are with money. And look, this is way more than just some feel-good phrase. It's the first principle of the whole system. Before you can ever build wealth out there in the real world, you absolutely have to construct the blueprint for it in your mind first. Every single action you take, it always starts as a thought. So a strong mental blueprint is crucial. We get that. But it's pretty much useless without action, right? So how do we actually bridge that gap between thinking about it and doing it? Well, this is where we have to learn how to overcome what you could call financial inertia. And the key idea here is something called activation energy. Now, this is actually a term from chemistry, but it applies perfectly to us. It's that little initial burst of effort you need to just get something moving. To break out of that procrastination rut and start a new habit, you have to get over that initial resistance. So, the billion-dollar question is, how do you generate that energy? The strategy is so simple, it's almost deceptive. Step 1. Identify one small, totally manageable action that gets you closer to your goal. Maybe it's just opening a savings account online, or researching one ETF, or setting up a tiny automatic transfer. Then step 2, and this is the secret, do it within the next hour. That urgency, it doesn't give inertia a chance to settle in. And you see, that one small action you take, it's so much more than just checking a task off a list. It's your very first daily switch. It's the beginning of turning this whole idea from a one-time thing into a repeatable, sustainable system that works for you.
And that one switch? It's just the beginning. It's part of a much bigger plan. The source material actually lays out a complete roadmap built around this idea, and it's called the 10 Daily Switches. It's a full system designed to make this a daily habit.
The whole point of this 10-switch roadmap is, well, it's pretty profound. It's designed to methodically, step by step, make poverty mathematically impossible in your life. And it does that by turning wealth creation into that mechanical process we keep talking about. It's all about building unstoppable momentum through tiny, consistent actions, just like that one you can take in the next hour. And that really brings us to the end. The theory is great, right? But the power is in actually doing it. This entire explainer really just boils down to this one question for you. Forget about the big 10-year plan for just a second. What is the one small switch you can make in the next 60 minutes to start building your own personal machine for wealth?